Kalamazoo's Real Rock Station, 92.5 The ZUU. As promised, we do have Lita Ford on the phone. Lita, how you doing?
I'm here. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm kicking.
You're still breathing and kicking. People haven't heard from you in a while. You got a new album coming out on October 6th, Wicked Wonderland. You are the first lady of heavy metal, and we've missed you very, very much. Something like 15 years. You took time off to raise your kids, if I'm not mistaken.
I did. Actually, got a little bored with the music industry 15 years ago, and decided to hang it up for a while. So it was a good time for me to work on my family, raise my family, and that's what we've been doing. We've been living in the Caribbean, having lots of sex, and I mean, what do you do when you're hot and sweaty, right?
You hang out in the Caribbean. And something I wanted to mention, I wanted to bring this up later, but since you brought up the sex right now, let's dive right into it. On your MySpace page, myspace.com/Lita Ford, you have pictures of your and Jim's, your husband, formerly of the band Nitro. You guys hooked up. Your little Wicked Wonderland, your personal Wicked Wonderland featuring, straps, swings, various other adult toys. Props, are you guys really getting into that stuff?
Well, we use stockroom equipment, and it's the best. So if you go to their website, stockroom.com/Lita Ford, you can see my collection.
Just all adult toys and all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
There you go. That's Lita Ford. She's got a new album coming out on October 6th. That's Tuesday, Wicked Wonderland. What actually got you back into the studio after 15 years of laying off?
Just had the itch. 15 years is quite a while, so I think it was time, you know. I was getting the itch. My kids were getting older. My husband had been working the whole time, and I thought, you know what, now it's my turn to make some money here. Move over and let this bitch take over.
Now, what was it like being out of the rock world for so long? Did you see stuff on TV? Did you hear new albums? And, you want to get back out there and prove that Lita Ford can still rock, or were you content just hanging with your sons?
Actually, I didn't watch TV, and I didn't listen to the radio. I kind of turned everything off, and didn't hear from anybody or anything. And it was nice. I just spent time trying to raise my kids, trying to be a mom. I never held a kid in my life. I didn't know what to do. I had my first baby, and I was like, okay, this thing doesn't have any guitar strings on it. What am I supposed to do with this? It doesn't come with a manual. I had to really focus on being a mom and trying to figure out, what's the best thing for my family, and it really was difficult. But now my kids are getting a little bit older. They're not little babies anymore, and they're telling me, Mom, do you know who you are? Yeah, I know who I am. Well, Mom, you need to get out there and rock and roll, Mom. You need to get out there and kick some ass. Okay, Mom?
So your kids actually do have a grasp on how big their mother is.
Oh, they're telling me.
So you're the one that kind of lost touch with who Lita Ford was after 15 years.
Just got bored, I wasn't into the whole grunge thing, and I didn't want to be a part of it. I just sort of hung it up, and I figured if I'm going to bail at all, now's a good time.
Now, with you saying you got bored and you had a long layoff, what have you noticed has changed the most about the music industry since you hung up the axe and the music industry now?
It seems like everything's coming back around. I know there's a lot of bands out there that are putting out their first album in a long time. I mean, AC/DC, Kiss, is it Megadeth?
Megadeth did just put out a new album called Endgame. We had Dave Mustaine on the show not too long ago.
Ace Frehley's got one. There's a lot of people out there that are putting out a new record. So I don't know, something about the time. And we didn't pick this time for any reason. We just did it.
And they're hitting the tours, and you find that the most successful tours now are the Def Leppards, the AC/DCs. Van Halen didn't put out a new album, but they did the tour with Wolfgang in place of Michael Anthony. And those were three of the biggest tours, if not the three biggest tours of this year and last year.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that about Van Halen. They came through town. I tried to get in to see them, and the tickets were so expensive. I just went, And for some reason, I don't know why, but they weren't giving any away.
Sometimes Eddie likes to just get everything in there and make as much money as possible.
Yeah, you think?
Like he doesn't have enough already, right?
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
Now, back to your kids. You're going to be in Brutal Legend, the video game. Are you going to get them a copy? Because that's released 1 week exactly after your album. Are they going to think it's really cool to see Mom in a video game?
Yeah, they were here when I did the voiceovers. So you might even hear them in the background a little bit, chattering away. But and on the record, you might hear them in the background, yelling at each other or something, beating the crap out of each other like little boys do. And then there's Jim and I having sex in the background. So there's lots of interesting things in the background on the Wicked Wonderland album.
Just a day in the life of Lita Ford living in the Caribbean islands, right?
That's right, yeah. We did record it there, too, so that was nice.